smoking half a cigar. As you can see, this is the front part of a cigar. It's usually not recommended to smoke cigars this way, but if you think that you don't have the time but you do want to smoke a cigar, this is my advice. Just shorten it. Today I wanted to talk about my lifestyle, and I'm not able to uphold it all the time, but I try. And that lifestyle is minimalism. Today is not as rainy as the previous video, but it is more windy. So, I'm gonna give a couple of reasons why I try to live a minimalist lifestyle. And I'm gonna start with the first reason. For me, it does reduce stress because it encourages decluttering. It gives me a more, how should I say it, serene and organized house, which reduces stress and anxiety for me. Like the less things I see, the less things I have to carry about. It's just, how should I say it? Looking at a green field with a couple of trees and flowers gives me a nicer feeling than seeing the same field with 50 machines, 100 cars, a shopping mall, and all other stuff combined. It's like an overload to your visual ability, if I say it correctly. Another thing is that it also saves money, because once I adapted that lifestyle, I basically buy things only that I really need, and I take the time to think about, do I really need this? Will I need this in a year or 5 years, or will it just lay in my drawer or closet or something else where it will be just laying there collecting dust and me not doing anything with it? That's also the reason why I buy long-lasting quality stuff. Like for example, a pen or something. I rather have one quality expensive pen which I can refill for the rest of my life than have 50 pens that are just laying around in a bunch. Or same goes for shoes. Like instead of buying shoes every year or every couple of months, how some people do, that are less of a quality but more of a marketing thing. People buy, like for example, if you buy shoes, a pair of shoes every 2 months for $150, that's like out of the 12 months in a year you bought shoes for 6 months, so 6 times 150 is like 600 plus 650. What's that, like 300? So that's like $900. I rather buy one quality pair of shoes that's made out of good leather that I have for 15 years for $500-600. That's the way you should be thinking with minimalism. So it's not about having better quality but less stuff. Um, Basically, yeah, quality over quantity. For me, it also increases freedom because you have less things to worry about or less things to maintain and more freedom to travel and to move. Like for example, if you have a apartment that you're renting, and I don't know, but I think like if you literally count every piece of thing that you have in your house, you'd be surprised. You maybe have like a couple of hundred of thousand things in your house and basement and drawers and stuff like that. And the less stuff you have, the less you have to pay to move it, the less energy it costs to move it when you go to another apartment or house. And literally, it gives you more freedom, however you want to see it. Some people also have things in their drawers or any place in the basement for 10, 15 years that are literally unused. And that's just, I don't know, I find that very weird. Imagine having, I don't know, like even a random business card or I don't know, a marble that doesn't have any value for you, but just somehow you got it or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's somewhere behind in a corner, even a receipt. Like even if you bought a closet or a bed for $2,000 and the warranty passed away 10 years ago, what benefit do you have of having that receipt in your closet that just takes that just takes place? There's no actual benefit in it. The birds are singing today very nicely, as you can hear. So, like, for me, there's no more satisfying feeling than when I took a bag for trash and filled it to the brim with stuff I literally don't need, even clothes. I have clothes that are of a particular brand that are worth the money for what they are, but I literally haven't worn them for 5 years or whatever, and I just keep them because they're still good. There's no holes in it or it hasn't washed out or anything, but I know secretly in my mind that I still won't wear it for years to come. So, without feeling guilty, without hesitating, I just take it, throw it in the plastic bag, and just donate it. Someone who is less fortunate will have much more satisfaction with it than me. So, it's also a way to help people. Just donate your old stuff or stuff you don't wear. And yeah, another point, and maybe this is the most important point for me, is that the less you have, the more you value the stuff that you do have. It's I don't know if this is how everyone thinks or would think, or it's just a part of the population who would get the feeling, but for example, and this this is a really weird example that just came in mind. Let's say this ashtray. It is really a weird example, but I have only one ashtray for cigars, and that's this one. The fact that I have only one gives it more value to this particular ashtray than if I had 10 ashtrays. Unless you're a collector or something, but I'm not talking about the abnormalities. That's basically also how the market works. Like, the less you have of something, for example, I don't know, whatever. When people want it, so when there's a demand for something, the more of it there is, the less value it has. So there's only one Mona Lisa painting, and that has, for example, a value of $5 million. I'm not sure. It could be 100, $200 million. I don't. It's not important. But if the same artist made 20 of the same identical paintings of Mona Lisa, it would still have value. But instead of 5 million, maybe one would be 250,000 or 1 million instead of 5. So it still would have value, but much less. And I think in the same way about my own stuff. I have 2 or 3 suits, which is a lot, but I've accumulated them in the past 15 years, so those 3 suits have more value for me and more nostalgia and stuff than if I would have 20 suits, because I have been to more weddings and parties with those suits that hold more memories than I would have if I had a suit for every separate occasion I ever went to. That's just basically the psychology behind why I like a minimalist lifestyle. Now, on the other hand, don't get me wrong, I still think that I have too much stuff compared to a real minimalist. But it's not like I live alone. I have a wife, and I cannot enforce my minimalism on her. So we try to work it out and talk about stuff. Do we really need it or not? Like, don't buy a book to have a book. Buy a book to really read it. Don't buy stuff you're only gonna wear once, and then maybe next time in 5 years or never. Don't buy a dress for every occasion. You have other dresses you can reuse. It's not Hollywood that we are millionaires and you need, for every wedding or birthday, you need a new dress. Pieces of clothing are not made to wear once. That's a Hollywood movie thing. But I do still think that we do have more stuff than we actually need, and in the coming months, years, I try to reduce everything to the point of only having stuff that are used and useful. And I basically think everyone should live that way, because not only if you believe in global warming or whatever, but like, it is less pollution. Like, by glass cup instead of a plastic cup. There's no need for it. Like, why would you buy a cup or something that's plastic when it will like be thrown away far more easier? So either you keep buying plastic cups in the next 10 years, and eventually the price of it, even if it's 10 times cheaper than a glass cup, if this glass cup doesn't break, I can have it for 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, and it costs only, I don't know what, like $3. But if you buy a plastic cup for 15 cents and you keep throwing those away, eventually it will accumulate to much more than the $3 I paid for the glass. Like, also, like, it's not that I don't like plastic. Of course we need plastic. Plastic is in everything. But try for once in your life to buy something that's a bit more expensive, but after your research you found out that it's much more long lasting. In the Netherlands we have a saying that it's not cheap but duurkoop, which basically means it's expensively cheap. So something is so cheap that it breaks or whatever so fast that you will have to buy it 20 times instead of buying one quality thing. So try to give it a go. Minimalism. Just look in your drawers, open your drawers, closet, your room, your desk, whatever, and look at it and think about it. Do you really need it? I know it's hard sometimes to throw away some stuff, especially when they're nostalgic or remind you of something, but once it's gone, it's gone. You won't think about it and you won't use it in the exact same way that you haven't